All right, so you're trying to install Windows 11 and you've hit a wall, right? You're all set to upgrade, you're excited, but your computer is just not playing along. Well, you've definitely come to the right place. We are going to get that upgrade unstuck. Yeah, does this look familiar? The PC must support TPM 2.0. This one little sentence has been the source of so much frustration for so many people. It just stops the whole upgrade cold. But look, I promise there's almost always a logical reason for it, and more often than not, it's a pretty straightforward fix. So let's tackle this thing together. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what this whole TPM thing even is. Then we'll actually diagnose your system and see what it says. After that, I'll walk you through the most common fix, we'll cover a few other potential snags, and then we'll talk about the tough stuff, what to do if your hardware just says no. It's a straight shot from problem to solution. All right, first things first, before we start clicking around in menus, we need to understand what we're even dealing with here. Like, what is this trusted platform module, and why on earth is Windows 11 so hung up on it? So the easiest way to think about it, a TPM is like a digital bodyguard for your computer. Seriously, it's a dedicated little chip right on your motherboard that works like a super secure vault. Its entire job is to lock away really sensitive stuff, like encryption keys, and keep them totally separate from the rest of your system. That way, even if some nasty software gets in, it can't touch those secrets. And this isn't just Microsoft trying to make our lives difficult, I promise. Cyber threats are getting smarter, and they can even attack your computer before Windows even starts up. So this TPM requirement, it's the bedrock for some of Windows 11's most critical security features. We're talking about things like BitLocker, which encrypts your entire hard drive, or Windows Hello, where you log in with your face. All that cool, secure stuff, it needs the hardware-level security that only a TPM 2.0 can provide. Okay, theory lesson is officially over. It is time to roll up our sleeves and figure out what's actually going on with your machine. Let's run a really quick and easy diagnostic to see where we stand. Okay, super simple. On your keyboard, just press the Windows key and the letter R at the same time. A little box called Run will pop up. In that box, I want you to type tpm.msc. That's tpm.msc, and then just hit Enter. You'll see a new window, and that window is going to tell us everything we need to know for our next step. All right, let's read the tea leaves here. What does that window say? If you see something like compatible TPM cannot be found, don't panic. This is actually the most common one, and it probably just means it's turned off in your settings. We'll fix that next. Now, if it says specification version 1.2, that means your computer has an older, unsupported version of the chip. And if it says the TPM is ready for use, well, congrats, your TPM is fine. The problem is something else, probably a setting called Secure Boot, which we'll get to. Okay, so for all of you who got that TPM cannot be found message, and that's probably most of you, this next part is for you. This is by far the most common fix, and it's usually just flipping a single switch. Don't worry, it sounds more intimidating than it really is. So to make this change, we have to go into something called the BIOS, or UEFI. Think of it as the super low-level settings for your computer that run before Windows even loads. And to get there, we're gonna have to restart your computer. All right, here's the trick. As your computer is restarting, right when it first turns on, you need to start tapping a specific key on your keyboard. The usual suspects are the delete key, F2, F10, or sometimes escape. You kind of have to be quick. Now, it's different for every computer brand, so if none of those work, just do a quick web search for your computer model plus the words BIOS key, and you'll find it. Okay, once you're in the BIOS, and just a heads up, it might look pretty old school, very text-based. You'll probably be using your arrow keys to get around. What you're looking for is the TPM setting, and it's usually hiding under a tab called Security, or maybe Advanced, or sometimes you'll even see one called Trusted Computing. Now this is super important because it clears up so much confusion. Intel and AMD call the exact same feature by different names. So if you have an Intel CPU, you're looking for something called Platform Trust Technology, or just PTT. But if you have an AMD system, the setting you want is called FTPM, or Firmware TPM. It's the same thing, just a different name. Kind of silly, right? So once you've found the right setting, either PTT or FTPM, all you have to do is change it from disabled to enabled. Then look for an option that says something like Save Changes and Exit or Save and Reboot. Your computer will restart one more time, and hopefully, that's it. You should be good to go with your Windows 11 installation. But what if that didn't fix it? Or what if your diagnostic tool said the TPM was already on? Don't despair. There are a couple of other common culprits we can check out. Okay, here's a really crucial point. TPM 2.0 doesn't really work by itself. It's part of a security team, let's say. So back in that same BIOS menu, there are two other settings you have to get right. First, your boot mode has to be set to UEFI. If it's on Legacy or CSM, that's a no-go. Second, a feature called Secure Boot absolutely must be enabled. You need all three of those things lined up perfectly for Windows 11 to give you the green light.
Oh, and a quick one for all you folks using virtual machines, in Hyper-V or VMware. The exact same rules apply. They're just virtual. You have to make sure you're using a Generation 2 VM and then dive into its settings and specifically check the boxes for both Virtual TPM or VTPM and Secure Boot.
So we've gone through all the common software fixes and settings tweaks. But what if you've tried all of this and it's still not working? What if your computer's hardware is just old? Well, it's time to talk about some hard truths and what your real options are. Look, if your PC is from an older generation and it just plain doesn't have a TPM 2.0 chip, you've got two safe, official paths forward. Option 1, just stay on Windows 10. And that's not a bad thing. It's a great, stable OS, and Microsoft is going to keep it secure with updates all the way until October 2025. Option 2 is, well, it's to upgrade your hardware. That's really the only official way to get Windows 11 on that machine.
Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking. But wait, I saw a YouTube video about a registry hack, right? You've seen the articles and scripts online that promise to bypass all these checks. It's a really tempting shortcut, I get it. But we have to talk about the risks. And here's the deal. Bypassing these requirements is a really bad idea, especially on a computer you use for work or anything important. Why? Because it's totally unsupported by Microsoft. That means you could miss out on critical security updates down the line, leaving your system wide open. And if you're in a work environment, forget about it. It's a total non-starter. You'll break all sorts of compliance rules and can cause major services like Microsoft Intune to just stop working. So for anyone who's in that incompatible hardware boat, this date is the one to circle on your calendar, October 2025. Think of that as your planning horizon. You've got a good amount of time to keep using Windows 10 safely and securely while you think about and plan for your next computer. Ultimately, this whole TPM 2.0 thing, it's more than just a silly installation error. It's really Microsoft drawing a line in the sand for what modern computer security looks like. So the real question this error makes us ask isn't just, can my PC run Windows 11? It's a bigger question. Is my PC really ready for the future of security? And that is a question worth thinking about. Thanks for sticking with me on this one.